All right, so this video is going to be about how I made millions of dollars on YouTube with science, okay? And I know that's a bold claim, and you're probably wondering, who the heck are you? I don't know you, and how did you make millions of dollars on YouTube? Like, I don't even know you, right? You're not PewDiePie, you're not Mr. Beast. Like, how in the world did you make millions of dollars? Well, I'm not all that well known because I don't focus on views and subscribers. But with that being said, this is my main channel right here, and I have over 750K subs. So I do have quite a few subscribers, and I have been consistently making over 6 figures a month on YouTube for a very long time. I've also taught a bunch of other people how to do the same. Now, you're also probably wondering, who are you to talk about the science of YouTube? I mean, what are you, some kind of scientist? Yeah, actually, I kind of am. So this is me graduating with my doctorate a few years ago, and this is me working with my white coat, right? So actually, I kind of am a scientist, right? So I took my scientific background and I applied it to actually making money on YouTube. Not getting views and subscribers, because that's different, right? You do have to get views and subscribers to make money, but there's people who get tons and tons of views and subscribers and they aren't making any money. But actually figuring out how to make money on YouTube. And that's exactly what I'm going to reveal in this video. Now, it's not just the taxonomy, because we're going to be focusing on the taxonomy because it's probably the most important thing. But I actually applied this mindset to many other things as well. So for instance, niche selection, idea generation, holy trifecta, which is the thumbnail, title, intro, script writing, recording, video editing, uploading, optimizing, video launch, analyzing results, troubleshooting, as well as hiring a team and, you know, what they do. What exactly are they going to do for you so that you can save time? And this is how I've gotten my YouTube, my main channel, down to me only having to work 4 hours a week on it in order to maintain it. So let's go ahead and go over the taxonomy, because the taxonomy is one of the most important, and in fact, I'd say it's the most important thing that almost nobody thinks about. Now, you're probably thinking, taxonomy, that's a big word, I'm scared. Don't worry. The taxonomy is simply just a structure. It's a way of understanding YouTube content that boils the mysterious X factors down into easily perceivable and repeatable processes or formats. So, taxonomy has 6 different classifications. You've got the vertical, the format, the style, the length, the personality, and the topic. And let's break each of these down into a little bit of detail. Although I will say format, we're going to really dive deep on because it's actually the most important one by far. So the vertical is who you serve, right? It's simply, you know, what is your target demographic, right? So are you serving real estate agents? Are you serving accountants? Are you serving SMMA business owners, etc.? Like, are you serving just normal 9-to-5 job type people? Are you serving older women and you're helping them lose weight? Are you serving older men who are wealthy and you're helping them gain muscle and lose weight, right? That is the vertical. So it's very similar to your niche. And I kind of talked about the niche in a different video. Check out the channel if you need to see that. But yeah, vertical, obviously very important. I made an entire video on it. Then you've got the format. So the format is the most important thing other than the niche, but I already made a video on that. And that's what we're going to be focusing on in this video. And that is essentially things like how to listicle reaction. Are you making, you know, PewDiePie style reaction content? Are you making content where you are doing some kind of challenge like Mr. Beast style content, et cetera, et cetera? There's so many different formats. We're going to break all of them down. Then you've got the style. So the style can be many different things. It's basically how you make the videos. Do you use a lot of editing? What do you use specific styles of editing? Is it like retention editing? Is it kind of a girly style? You've probably seen those, right? The kind of a girly style of editing, or is it more of a, you know, guy style of editing? You know, do you have sort of like a when the things pop up on the screen, what do they look like? Do they look like some kind of metal thing, or do they look very like nice and friendly, right? Do you have humor on your channel? Is your channel family friendly? Is your channel controversial? right? It could be controversial as well. That's the style, okay? And style is very important as well. Length is the next one we're going to talk about. So the length I typically recommend for beginners is at least 10 to 15 minutes. Now, once your channel is more established, you can go for 15 to 20 minutes or longer, okay? Length is one of those things that matters, okay? Length matters. It really does. And a lot of people on YouTube will tell you, oh, you should make shorter videos because people's attention span is going down. I completely disagree. You should be making long form videos because YouTube is the long form video platform. Like, people go to YouTube to watch long form videos. Now, you need to make your videos good. You need to make, you need them to actually solve people's problems, but you should be making long form videos without a doubt. Okay. At least 10 minutes, bare minimum 10-minute videos. In fact, in many cases, you can make them 20 minutes, 30 minutes, even longer. You might make like an hour-long video. Okay, but length is another one. Now, with that being said, there are a select amount of people out there that do prefer shorter videos, right? You know, like the 5 to 10-minute range, or even shorter than that. But overall, the longer the video, the better, and it helps you get more watch time. It helps you get a longer average view duration, which signals the algorithm to promote your videos more. So longer is better on YouTube. Personality. So personality is just what is unique about you, right? Are you a pharmacist, right? Like I am. Like, I used to be a pharmacist. Are you? You can also be a little bit of your sense of humor, not like the style, like how you edit with humor, but you're just, you know, your personality, your sense of humor coming out. Like, I made a kind of a sexual joke a few minutes ago, right? So that's kind of my sense of humor coming out. Yeah, not very scientific of me, not very professional of me, but yeah. So yeah, personality is also very important. And the big thing here is just be yourself, right? Be your best self, right? Be the best version of yourself, but be yourself, right? You want to showcase your personality, because some people are going to like you, some people aren't going to like you, but the ones that like you are really going to like you. Okay. And those are the types of people you want following you. And then the topic. So the topic is basically the idea of the video, or the general topic that you talk about. So, you know, for real estate agents, there's a lot of different topics you could talk about. You could talk about how to get clients. You could talk about, generally speaking, how to be a better real estate agent, et cetera, et cetera. So that is another part of declassification. Now, we're going to be focusing on format. Why do we focus on format? Because this is the one that almost everybody messes up. Almost everybody does this. And let's go over the different formats. So there's listicles. These are, you know, top X video, top 10, 11 best college degrees, 13 best vacation spots, that kind of thing. Listicle videos. Then you've got music videos. I think that one's pretty self-explanatory. Then you've got explainers. Then you've got challenge. Okay, so explainers and how-tos are essentially the same thing. So whenever you see explainer, you can just think how to. I'm just going to actually put it right now. How to. Explainer / how to. And basically you explain or teach a topic or answer questions to people. So how to get more clients, how to make money on YouTube, how to make a lasagna, right? That kind of thing. Then you got challenge videos. This is kind of like a Mr. Beast style video. In the financial world, there's a channel called Bia Heza who does these, which I think his channel is pretty awesome. I don't think he uploads as much anymore, but basically he would do these challenge style videos. Like, I tried Forex day trading for a week, complete beginner. And then if you're not aware, Mr. Beast, as well as his million little clones, also do challenge videos, right? So in 10 minutes, this room will explode, protect the yacht, keep it. Ages 1 to 100, decide who wins $250,000, 7 days stranded on an island, challenge videos, right? There's a lot of different ways that you can package them, but at the end of the day, they are all challenge videos. Then you've got commentary videos, which is basically where you comment or provide an opinion on a topic. This could be like a news channel, for instance. Something big happens and you just provide, your opinion on it. So commentary and news are kind of the same thing. Then reaction is where you actually watch content on the screen and then you show your reaction to watching the content. Very interesting format. Yeah, I've got a lot to say about this one, so we'll keep that for later. Not a big fan of this one because it's incredibly lazy for one, but for two, the biggest thing is almost nobody buys when they're watching people who are watching events, right? Reaction content. It's more of an entertainment type of thing. Then you've got interviews. So questions are asked of a subject or interviewee. There's so many different examples of this. Podcasts is one of the most obvious ones. But there's let's see, hot wings interview, something like that. What is this guy? First We Feast. So this guy, the Hot Ones, he interviews people while they're eating super hot chicken. That's a really kind of cool format, cool way of doing it. And questions are asked of a subject or an interviewee. So it's pretty obvious with this one. This one is really good for making money, actually. So that's kind of like podcast style content. Then you got narrative, depicts fiction or fictionalized events. This is basically just like telling a story, right? So, it's, wow, that bothers me a lot. I wish it didn't do that. But yeah, this is essentially just telling a story. It doesn't necessarily have to be fiction. You could just be telling a story in real life. But yeah, these are the formats. These are the main formats. Now, let me tell you which ones you should do if you actually want to make money. So Listicle is excellent for making money. Okay, Listicle is awesome. Explainer How To might be the best one. Okay, it is absolutely incredible for making money. Challenges are okay. Music videos are not great at all. Definitely don't do music videos. Challenges are okay. You've seen people like Bia Haza have success with challenges. It is incredibly entertaining. And the problem with being entertaining is, one, these types of videos take a ridiculously long time to make, and they're incredibly difficult to make. And two, generally speaking, if you are entertaining people, they are not very likely to buy from you. They kind of see you as a dancing clown. Now, you can add a little bit of entertainment to education content, and it can spice it up. It can make it a little bit better, but it needs to primarily be educational, whereas challenges, in my opinion, are primarily entertainment. So this one is mid, okay? It's not amazing, but you can make it work. It's just a lot of work, and there's probably a reason why Bia Haza has not uploaded in 9 months, and it's because it's a hell of a lot of work to make challenge content. Then you've got commentary and news. Now, this one is excellent in certain niches. So I'll give you guys an example of one of my clients, Felix and Friends. He makes about $1 million a month, and he does make commentary / news style content. So he's typically covering current events. He makes $1 million a month with a 148K subscriber channel, which is incredible. And yeah, he's covering current events, and he sells a stock trading course, specifically options trading. So finance, investing, that kind of thing can be really good for news style content. And just news style content in general, I mean, we've seen, just for instance, Meet Kevin has sold many, many different types of courses and online products with news style content. So, finance products, that's the main thing he sells, but he also sold stuff on how to start a YouTube channel. He's also sold stuff on how to build wealth, et cetera, et cetera. So finance, how to make money, commentary and news style content is pretty good, especially for finance and investing. Really, really good for finance and investing. Reaction content, not very good for making money, if I'm being honest, guys, because again, it's primarily entertainment. Okay, it's primarily entertainment, and that's why it's not very good for making money. It's also really, really lazy, if I'm being honest. Like, there are some reaction channels out there that are amazing. One of my favorite is Abba and Preach. Okay, really love Abba and Preach. They're an amazing reaction channel. I don't watch like all their videos or anything, but yeah, it's really, really cool reaction channel. And they actually add a lot to it because they're hilarious. They're both comedians, and they're just insanely funny. So yeah, that would be an example of a really good reaction channel. But with that being said, again, reaction is entertainment, and so therefore it's going to be much harder to make money. Interview channels are excellent for making money. Really, really good. So for instance, a podcast channel, very good for making money. You interview high-level guests in whatever field or vertical you're in or your niche, and they share tips and tricks on how they're making money. These convert extremely well, guys. These convert really, really well. And then narrative/story style content. Some types of narrative/story style content work really, really well, and some don't. So for instance, if you bring somebody on and they do like a testimonial or a case study where you kind of tell their story, tell where they were, what problems they were having, how they were able to overcome those problems, and what result they were able to get, that can be really, really good for making money. Now, it might not get very many views, but the few views you get are going to convert like absolute crazy. So that's narrative/story style content. So let's break these down a little bit further. Let's go into listicles, for instance. Common types, top 10 video, best ofs, things you don't know, compilation videos. Now, typically compilation videos are not very good, but top 5 best ways of getting clients, top 5 best ways of getting a job, top 5 skills, top 5 high income skills, that kind of thing. You can see why these would be really, really good for converting. Now, the great thing about listicles is they get a lot of views and they can convert really well. Whereas explainer/how-to typically doesn't get as many views, but it converts better than listicle. But they're honestly both really, really good. Now, another thing that's great about listicle style content is it's incredibly easy to make. You basically can just take a flashcard, write some stuff down on the flashcard, and that's it. You just go off the top of your head. So for instance, you could say, this is just my opinion, but these are the top 5 best ways of getting clients. This is just my opinion. These are the top 5 high income skills. So they're really easy to make. Whereas some of the other types of content can be a little bit more difficult. For instance, explainer and how to is typically a little bit more in depth than listicle style content. But one secret that a lot of people don't know is all types of content at the end of the day are kind of secretly listicle style content if you know how to make it correctly. Think about it. Books. It's a series of chapters. What are chapters? Chapters are a list. Movies. Movies typically go in different acts. There's like 7 different acts typically in a movie. What is that? It's a list, right? Articles, how-tos, step-by-step guides. Just think about it, step-by-step, right? That's a list. So really, at the end of the day, everything is kind of a listicle, but when you're doing listicles specifically, you're actually packaging it like a listicle. So 7 best ways of making money, 7 skills that I learned that made me rich, that kind of thing. That's a listicle. Music videos, not good. Don't try it. Again, entertainment, not very good at all. So we're going to skip that. Now, basically with listicles, let's go over some more in depth here. So some common styles: direct to camera with over-the-shoulder images and videos, cutaways to videos, and then voiceover on top of images and videos. So those are some common styles. Here's an example, watchmojo.com. Very good example there. Now, there's some hybrids that we're going to be talking about here pretty soon. And I do actually recommend doing hybrid style content. But yeah, music video, this would be an example, Childish Gambino. But yeah, it's not really good for monetizing for the average person. Explainer/how-to, how-to videos, educational videos, science experiments, simplifying complex ideas, school subjects. The video poses a question to the audience, and then it then answers the question. Common styles: direct to camera, cutaways to video, green screen, voiceover on top of images and video, direct to camera with over the shoulder images and video, and overhead of your hands. So this would be an example here. Does someone else have your face? Doppelgangers explain. Another really good example of how-to style content would be Ali Abdaal. So Ali Abdaal is really good at making how-to style content. That would be a really good example. Love how-to, really, really good way of making content. Then you've got challenges. We've kind of gone over this. Direct to camera is one way. So kind of like a, basically like a talking head style video is what direct to camera means. Single camera or multiple cameras, away from camera to another person, and multicam. Jubilee would be an example of this. So that's like a pretty big channel. That's kind of a challenge style. Mr. Beast would be another example. Then you've got commentary news. Again, you can just do talking head style video. You can do single angle or multiple angles. One of the things that's great about doing multiple angles is it's much easier it's much easier for you to present, because they can just easily edit out any mistakes you make in post, and you can seamlessly do it by switching from angle to angle whenever you make mistakes. So that's one thing that's really nice about using multi-angle. So primary format example, a day in high school vlog. Okay, so that would be an example of that. So commentary / news. So vlogs would be an example of commentary. But generally speaking, the one that actually makes a lot of money is news style content. Typically vlogs, if you showcase your lifestyle, it can make really good money. An example of that would be Gary Vee. You can do that. It will likely get a lot of views, but it probably won't convert very well. But yeah, Gary Vee kind of does this. He just, takes you along on his day-to-day stuff that he's doing. So yeah, that would be kind of an example of that. But commentary and news, I already showed you guys. Felix and Friends, also Meet Kevin. Also Graham Stephan, he's technically like a commentary and news channel. Reaction channels, again, typically don't really recommend doing these. YouTubers react to try to watch this without laughing. Typically, it's going to be like single camera, and it's going to be like kind of a direct to camera, so you're going to be showing your face. Not really a big fan of that one. Interview, really, really good stuff. This would be kind of an example of that, kind of just like people interviewing like politicians. Also, the hot ones that I showed you, Joe Rogan Experience would be like a podcast / interview. Really good stuff. Absolutely love this one. Really good for making money. And then narrative and story. This one can be really good as well, but only particular types of narrative and story. So you don't want to be entertaining people. That's the big thing. But you can tell a story, like tell your story, for instance, of how you were able to become successful in whatever you're teaching. Tell other people's stories of how they were able to become successful. A channel that does this really, really well is Film Booth. So really like Film Booth. He basically tells people's stories. So editing hacks YouTubers use to hook you. He focuses on Mr. Who's the Boss in this video. And he tells a story about Mr. Who's the Boss. And he does that with a bunch of different YouTubers. This one is, Casey Neistat. This one is, there's a bunch of different YouTubers. This one is MKBHD, and also Mr. Who's the Boss. So this would be an example of telling a story. You can look this up if you kind of want to see how he does it. Can be very effective. Also is kind of a lot of work, in my opinion. To tell a proper story is a lot of work. It takes, it's just a little bit tough. So, but if you want to look at somebody who's doing it really well, Film Booth would be the guy. So these are the taxonomy classifications and specifically the format of videos. Now, one thing you can do to really spice your channel up is to make what's known as a hybrid format. And we're going to get into that in a moment. But before we get into that, I just wanted to say the reason that this is so important, the reason that taxonomy is so important is because let's say you were watching your favorite show and your favorite show is a drama. Let's just say it's Breaking Bad. And just pretend like it's coming out every week. The new episodes are coming out every week. And then one episode comes out and your favorite comedy comes on. right? So you're really excited to watch Breaking Bad on Tuesday night with your girlfriend or your family. And then all of a sudden you go to watch the show and it's a freaking comedy. Right now, it might be a really good comedy, like The Office, for instance, right? I like Breaking Bad and I like The Office, but they're completely different. Breaking Bad is like a gritty drama, and The Office is a dry humor, like British humor type of thing. Okay. So if I'm expecting to watch Breaking Bad and then all of a sudden The Office comes on, I'm going to be disappointed. And that's why it's so important that you always have the same format, or at least like 80% of the time, you want to have the same format on your channel. And this is the secret to how people scale the heck out of your channel. If you look at any big YouTuber out there, guys, Mr. Beast, all of his content, guys, is the same format. And you probably never noticed this before. Now you're never going to not see it again. Every big YouTuber, every YouTuber that gets a ton of views, every YouTuber that's extremely successful uses the same format in almost all of their videos. With Mr. Beast, his format is challenge, right? He makes challenge style content, and he makes a very specific type of challenge style content. And he always makes the same type of content. And I'm telling you right now, if one video he did reaction, and then the next video was an interview, and then the next video was a listicle, and the next video was a how-to, Mr. Beast would not have 259 million subscribers. He would have like 100,000 subscribers, maybe, okay? But because of the fact that he understands YouTube, he understands that people watch your channel for a very specific purpose, right? There's a certain emotion, there's a certain vibe that they want to get from your channel. In the same way that you watch Breaking Bad or your favorite drama or your favorite comedy like The Office for a very specific purpose. There's a certain feeling that you want to have when you watch that show. And so therefore you always want to have the same format and generally speaking the same taxonomy, at least 80% of the time. Once in a while, if you try something else, that's totally fine. Like maybe once or twice a month. But 80% of the time, at least, you should have the same format, just like Mr. Beast, just like Mr. Who's the Boss, okay? Mr. Who's the Boss, just like MKBHD, they all have the same format, guys. Almost every single video is the same format. With Mr. Who's the Boss, he does listicles, okay? So you look at his content. You look at his content, guys, his most popular videos ever. They're almost all listicles. Now, he doesn't actually sort of market them as listicles, but, well, some of them he does. But yeah, almost all of them are listicles. I bought the smallest tech in the world, and then he reviews the tech, and it's like 17 different little pieces of tech, right? And then same thing with almost all of these. I bought every PlayStation ever, 22 nightmare tech fails. I bought the most satisfying tech on the internet. Again, it's a listicle. Mr. Who's the Boss almost always does listicles, and that's the type of content that his audience wants. Marquise Brownlee, he does reviews. He's always reviewing companies, and he's reviewing products. And that is basically all he does. Right, guys? Are you noticing a pattern here? All of the big YouTubers, all of the YouTubers that are pros make the same style of content in almost all of their videos. You look at Ali Abdaal, it's the same thing. Now, Ali kind of does mix it up a little bit, but he's at a point where I don't think he really cares about, you know, growing super fast and making money. So for instance, he did a vlog here, but yeah, most of his videos are how-to explainers, okay? Most of his videos are how-to explainers. Once in a while, he'll do like a listicle, just like this. Once in a while, he'll do a blog, but for the most part, most of his videos are how-to and explainer style videos. I think you guys get the point. It's unbelievably important that you do that. Now, let's talk about hybrid formats. This is something where you can really level your channel up. Now, what I do on my main channel is a listicle explainer hybrid. So I make listicles, but I basically, each little part in the listicle is explained like it's a how-to, essentially. So that's what I do on my main channel. I make listicle explainer hybrids. And this is a way that you can separate yourself from the competition, is you can make hybrids. And I do highly recommend the listicle explainer hybrid. Another one that you can do is you can do basically explainer / commentary. hybrids, or explainer slash interview hybrids, or explainer slash narrative story hybrids. In fact, I would say that Film Booth, the channel that I showed you guys before, does that. He does explainer slash narrative story hybrids. That's exactly what he does. And so if you really want to spice things up, you can actually do a hybrid format. So for instance, you could do an interview where you're explaining things, right? So it's like a how-to and an interview, explainer slash interview combined. That would be a hybrid format. And that's a way you can really separate yourself from the competition, because you're making it a little bit different than other people. So I'll give you an example. There was a channel where it's basically like, I totally forgot what they're called. They're basically like a financial couple. Okay. So let's see if I can find them. Oh man. Yeah, here we go. So this is one channel right here. They're doing it as well. Invest in index funds. I was hoping that they would. There we go. Our Rich Journey. So really big finance channel, and they're basically like a couple channel, right? They're like a husband and a wife, and they talk about finances. So that's a way of spicing things up, because there's a ton of different finance channels, but they were able to make a name for themselves by being kind of like a husband-wife couple, right? So that's another way you can do it. You can spice things up by doing something like that, all right? And yeah, hybrid format, you don't need to do it, but it really, really helps if you make a hybrid format, because it's gonna make your channel unique and it's gonna make it different. Another thing you can do is you could add little skits. So skits would be an example of narrative slash story. And you could add little skits to an explainer slash how-to channel. So you could like explain things and then add like maybe a little bit of a comedic skit to it, just to kind of, really drive the point in. And yeah, that would be a great way. That would be an example of a hybrid channel. So hybrid formats can drive huge and sustainable audiences, and it makes it harder for the content to be stale. Yeah. So an example of kind of a hybrid format would be Hot Ones. So this is a little bit of a stale format, right? Interviews. There's a lot of different interview videos out there. Basically, Hot Ones is a show on First We Feast channel. The basic concept is a standard interview. The interviewer asks questions for the interviewee. However, the brilliance and success of this show lies in the slight advancement they made to the format. They added elements of challenge to the format. So it's basically like a challenge, right? Because you're challenging people to eat the hot wings, because that's what they do. They interview people and they eat hot wings at the same time. So it's essentially an interview channel and a challenge channel at the same time. And that's how they made it unique. 73 Questions is kind of like a listicle and interview channel, right? This is something that Vogue does. They ask really famous people 73 questions, and then they answer them. And it's kind of like a listicle and an interview at the same time, right? So this is how you can really stand apart by intermingling these formats. And you can make something that's truly unique that nobody else does. And both of these shows give the audience a reason to watch that has absolutely nothing to do with the topic. And this is incredibly important for the long-term sustainable growth, because it massively contributes to view velocity. Now, view velocity is the rate at which a new upload gains viewership. And view velocity is incredibly important for how many views that video will ultimately get. It's essentially a product of how many impressions your title and thumbnail get, the click-through rate of those impressions, and how quickly that happens. And the greater your view velocity and the greater the chance you have of YouTube's algorithm putting your video in front of a broader audience by way of appearing in YouTube's suggested and recommended videos section, search results, and more. So view velocity is very important. So the next rational question is, how do I get the most view velocity? Well, the real question you're asking are, what makes someone make the choice to click and watch a video? What are the reasons they have? And the taxonomy explains the possible reasons. They either like the format and the style, are interested in the topic, or like the talent, or a combination of the above. So this is why you want to have your own unique personality. You want to create your own unique format and style, and you want to be talking about a topic that people are actually interested in. Definitely check out my video on how to choose your niche. If you're, if you don't know how to do that, because I made a very comprehensive video on how to do that. And then let's go back to the hybrid interview formats. Again, both of these shows give the audience a reason to watch. It has nothing to do with the topic. Are you interested in Bill Burr? Yes. Watch the video. No, you can still enjoy the video to see what happens when he eats the super spicy hot wing, right? Do you care about Kendall Jenner? Yes. Watch the video. No, you can still enjoy seeing how a multimillionaire lives and, just asking a bunch of questions to them, someone who's super famous and a multimillionaire, right? It's just curiosity inducing. Now, the effect of having fans on your show or a channel as a whole is incredibly powerful for view velocity. You're no longer topic or talent dependent for views. You have real fans that will watch every episode, not just for the episodes or videos they're interested in at the topical level, right? So you're making your channel unique because of the fact that it has a different format than any other channel. Now, if you're someone who has incredibly good charisma, maybe you don't need to do this because you're already really unique. And you don't have to do anything like this. But even if you are someone who has incredibly good charisma, you should probably still do this, right? Now, if you had a channel that talked about a large number of different topics and there wasn't an underlying talent or format reason for the audience to watch, you have a segmented audience like the one on the left, right? You don't want this. What you want is your channel, your show. They are watching you because you are unique, right? Because if you're talking about a bunch of different topics and you're using a bunch of different formats, chances are, unless you have insanely good charisma, people are not going to consistently watch your content because you're not giving a consistent experience to them. And in this scenario, your channel will have a huge trouble growing and may eventually enter a YouTube death spiral because it will not generate enough view velocity on any individual video to let YouTube's algorithm know the video should be shown to a wider audience. Conversely, if you have fans of a format or talent, they'll watch just about anything you upload, like the circle on the right, which generates far more view velocity. In closing, this is the best piece of algorithm or audience development advice that I can give you. Make a hybrid format in a style endemic to the platform with good talent. If you do that, you'll be way ahead of the vast majority of YouTube channels. Now, so this is the taxonomy of a YouTube channel. I do want to give credit to the article that I originally got this from. I'm going to show this article on the screen. This is an incredible article. It was on tubefilter.com, and this is an incredible article that I originally got this idea from. I discovered this years ago, and this is absolutely incredible. But I wanted to break it down in my own way. This was by Matt Gielen. And he typically works with more mass market channels. I work with more niche channels that are interested in making money, not just getting a lot of views. And so if you are interested in working with me, I've gotten a ton of people. I've gotten 4 people. I've helped them get to 8 figures, almost a 5th and a 6th. I've helped about over 15 people get to 7 figures. And I've helped a ton of other people make a full-time income from YouTube. So if you want to work with me, book a call. Link is down in the description and the pinned comment below.